shit hot as hell, man.
Okay, the next video we're going to talk about animals we saw. Oh, we'll just randomly jump around. The largest animal we saw was in Lewis Mountain Campground in Shenandoah National Park, and it was a black bear that weighed roughly 350 pounds that walked about 75 foot by our campsite, looked at us a couple times, and just continued on down the hill. We also seen 2 younglings, which we have nice videos of, and about 4 bear cubs and 3 other bears. I think we saw a total of 11 bears. Those are black bears, all in Shenandoah. We've seen literally thousands of deers. Once eventually there'll be tons of deer videos and slideshows. There's bucks, does, fawns, mixtures of both. We even got a fawn breastfeeding and some other weird stuff. Let's see, we saw 2 turkeys. We saw one while hiking, and one flew in front of our car on Skyline Drive and almost became dinner. We saw about 6 or 7 groundhogs. The biggest, which was 2 foot tall and probably weighed near 40 pounds. He was a huge little fat furry beast. We also saw a bobcat up at Matthew's arm during the day, which is unusual, for about 15 seconds before he ran into the woods. Let's see, here at Shenandoah Lake, we've seen a lot of newts. Today I almost stepped on a baby copperhead, which tried biting me several times, but missed, good thing. We've seen a few types of frogs, some toads. We've seen 2 types of trout and bluegills in the lake, which we call the human aquarium, because we go in it and the fish follow us around and stare at us usually. Can you think of any other animals we've seen here?
Chipmunks, squirrels.
Tons of chipmunks and squirrels, or tree rats as we like to call them.
And I seen a, I don't know, a northern ring-necked snake in the bathroom last night.
Yeah, and we also saw 2 northern ring-necked snakes in Shenandoah. Okay, snakes. We've seen 7 and 9 rattlesnakes, about 7 water moccasins, a couple water snakes. We saw a rough green snake, which is rare in this part of the country. We saw several ringneck snakes, a couple different species of garter snakes. And then we also went to a snake show where we saw 20 other types of snakes at least. But that doesn't really count because they weren't wild. In Shenandoah, we saw a grouse, which is also another hard animal to see. I know we saw a lot more. When we were down at Back Bay Wildlife Refuge, we've seen a couple types of turtles. We saw a raccoon in a nesting box just yawning and posing for the camera. We saw many types of snakes, mainly poisonous ones, sitting on the rocks at Back Bay, and a few toads and frogs there. Seen a lot of toads and frogs and salamanders and everywhere. The biggest lizard places we've seen have been Seashore State Park and Northwest River Park and Virginia Beach and Chesapeake. And we've seen about a dozen different species of lizards that are brown, gray, black, blue, purple, and a few variations of those colors.
Seen a lot of birds.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of birds. Don't have many bird videos because they don't like to stand still.
A lot of crows.
Yeah, we've seen crows, we've seen ravens, we've seen hawks, falcons, and buzzards. We've seen an owl. We've heard about 6 types of owls, but they're real hard to see too at night. We're still hoping to see a fox and an opossum, even though we've seen them in the city. We haven't seen any opossums out here, it's weird. We've seen 3 little mice. One was a big fat one that was living in the garbage can at Big Meadows picnic ground. Reminded me of Templeton the rat from Charlotte's Web. He was so fat and round, I don't think he'd get out of the trash can. I saw a nutria, which the state wants abolished because apparently they cause a lot of issues. That was here at Lake Sorrento. At Shenandoah, I think we only saw 1 fish. but that's high up in the mountains. Not many fish could go up waterfalls. And wow, I know there's so many other animals and things we saw. I'm trying to think of any. Can you think of any? Well, we'll just sit here and hum for a while, so that way we don't need to make a second what we saw animal video. We saw a raccoon run across Skyline Drive one day. Actually, he stopped in the middle of the road, so we had to stop. And when we stopped, he decided to run then. Other animals we've seen. I think I covered all the snakes, lizards, turtles, frogs. We saw a green tree frog in Chesapeake that I picked up. And at first he wanted to hop away, but after I held him for a while and put him down, he kept hopping back on me because I'm warm. Oh yeah, we saw a big 5-foot black rat snake the day we left Loft Mountain Campground in Shenandoah, which I picked up because it was preventing women from using the bathroom, and I put him in the woods after he played constrictor with my arm and just sat there and stuck his tongue out at me.
Seen a lot of bear, like you said.
Yeah, a lot of bears, a lot of deer. We've seen a lot of bats. We've seen bats at Greenbelt Campground in D.C., and we've seen bats pretty much everywhere. We've had a bat living under our awning at Northwest River Park. We've seen turkey bolsters at Chesapeake Campground. We had the privilege of seeing 2 American eagles doing some kind of mating ritual, staring at each other, flying together, sitting and staring at each other. The Great Dismal Swamp. We saw a few types of snakes, turtles, fish, frogs, toads. We've also seen all kinds of beetles, bugs, moths. We've seen several different species of swallowtail butterflies. Seen a ton of monarch butterflies and a few others I got to identify yet. Along probably with 50 to 100 other bugs I've taken pictures and videos of, like beetles, caterpillars, moths, butterflies, worms.
There's different colored dragonflies out there if you don't know this, but there is.
Yeah, dragonflies come in all colored rainbows, and everybody should encourage dragonflies because dragonflies eat these things we don't like called mosquitoes and gnats. And we've also seen plenty of them. And they got these on the island here that I swam out to in the middle of the lake. They got these flies that feel like a bee bite that are literally 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch long. They're bigger than any horsefly I've ever seen on any beach in New Jersey or any place else for that matter. And I think that's pretty much it for the animals that we saw. Yeah, I'd say that's it for the animals we saw. Peace out and enjoy. You think of any more? Nope. That's it then.